Welcome to Protecting Africa show. We got brother Tendi once again in the show. We had him last time, but we have him once again, and we want to get his opinion about the upcoming election in Zimbabwe. Why Zimbabwe? Because Zimbabwe is the front line in the fight against pink hegemony and imperialism and terrorism in Africa, and we have to focus on the country that offer the African people an opportunity to stand up to the European and tell them that we are not gonna take your bullshit. We will take back what is ours. We're gonna end your hegemony and go forward. Okay, now my first question to you: elections are coming in Zimbabwe. Now, what's your opinion about the main candidate? On one side, we have MDCT candidate Tsangirai, and on the other side, we got the ZANU-PF candidate President Mugabe. Now, what's your intake on both candidates?
It's a good question, but I feel what do they stand for, right? What do Tsangirai stand for, and what do Robert Mugabe stand for?
Yeah.
Robert Mugabe stand for the people, right? So is Tsangirai stand for the people, but which people now? You see, it's Tsangirai stands for pinky West interest or West people, basically, and Mugabe stands for us. As much as we need to pay more attention to the ideas and the policies he has for the future. So basically, I feel we should look at the principles and the policies each candidate has.
Okay, very interesting. Tsangirai is well known to most who follow closely events to be a tool of the United Kingdom and other colonial nations. We know that very well. Now, when the UK has a history of butchery in Zimbabwe and other parts of Africa, when a candidate of a country that has been through centuries of pain, just like many other Africans, is associated to the people that hate Africans and have committed horrible crime on Africa that many of them we don't even know. Yeah. Some of the crime they did is basically demonize Africans to themselves and the rest of the world that we are subhumans. Because you find in some part of Africa people don't even want to teach their children the mother language because of English and stuff. This is part of the psychological warfare. You find Africans were turned into pushing to total poverty and something. So there's many kind of crime the British have done, and their crimes speak for themselves. Like we having the identity when we don't have identity. Yeah. So the whole of Africa has been turned ups and down, and it's going on, but many don't see it. Now, when a candidate associate with such evil people, do you think a country is supposed to allow such a man to be a candidate? What do you think?
There's lack of information,
okay,
basically, to entertain a man who loves homosexuality. I mean, we can't have faggots in our own country. It's unacceptable.
Because he was for homosexuality to be legalized in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe,
basically, okay, it's funny but painful, because people lack information. Even him himself, he lack information for him to accept homosexuality. I mean, I can't come home introducing my other man that he fucks me. That's unacceptable. Our community as an African people, we don't allow things like that. So anyone who comes up and say that he is against or loves homosexuality, it shows which side you are. Because we know where homosexuality is more precious or more treasured, right? It's the West. They really love homosexuality. all these motherfuckers here in South Africa, they are homosexual, right? All these pinky motherfuckers are homosexual. They really treasure that. So there's no difference between a devil who is here in South Africa and a devil who is there in Europe, because that's where they come from. It's the same as pure Africans who are in America or in diaspora, and Africans here. They are one family, right? But just lack of information, that's when we separate each other. And how do we lack that information? The devil makes us lose that information. So basically, Tsangirai, he lacks information of who he is, right? So I don't know who vote for a man who treasure
Homosexuality.
homosexuality.